let us see how this goes. Okay, and according to you, this should actually show up here. View post. I mean, it takes a minute or something like that. It should automatically play there, isn't it? Well, in all honesty, nothing is automatically playing. They have to press the play button. Okay, that's my problem. I should not be pressing any play button. That's my problem. I should not be pressing any play button. Now, how do I bring the chat in here? Is it a separate, code? I think what? Oh, okay. That's my problem. I should not be pressing any play button. Now it's repeating. Dumbass. Are you hearing whatever I said? Okay, post that. Now, how do I get this chat there? Yeah, even I don't know. I mean, I haven't done this, so if I can get this chat there too, then I only need to look at one place. But I don't need even the dashboard, isn't it? Yeah, I don't need the dashboard at all. I only need to look at LonelyPoet.org where if I can get the chat there. But the chat, I don't know how to copy this chat. I mean, I don't have anything that says, community settings, automatically block bad words based on community setting. Okay. What is this? Manage moderators. Top chat, live chat, all messages are visible. Okay. Live chat. Okay. Maybe I may have to just look at this thing and forget about LonelyPoet.org. Because I'm actually thinking that if I can be on LonelyPoet.org, with just this, just click on what? Notation. No, you mean right click on it? Okay, let me edit that. Can you see this? It doesn't actually have that chat thing, Like I said, I haven't been using YouTube at all, for a long time. So this thing have changed considerably. Okay. It says cards. Is there anything to do with any of these cards or community? I love the poems and videos. Somebody's actually using. Yeah, they had issues with mic. So my mic is having boo. And looks like that is only our option. Right now the only option I have is I need to follow the live streaming and look at that. That's my option. If somebody comes and try to chat with me, then I can actually take the whole thing and put it there. And where do I see this? Will it actually show up the? Okay, let me see. The chat there. I need to. Yeah, the chat will be there. Follow the live streaming and look at that. That's my option. If somebody comes and try to chat with me, then I can actually take the whole thing and put it there. And yeah. Where do I see this? Will it actually show up the? You want me to read it out? Okay, let me see if I can find that. If I can find it. Oops, I don't want to show that. No, that's a new poem. It's not even completed, so that's why I'm kind of holding on to it. You saw me sleeping? Oh yeah, man. I was very, very tired by the end of the day because I had a long prayer, and then I actually, yeah. Now I'm going back into it because this is an important day for me. So, and we Sufis have important nights. There are specific times. Where we actually do long prayers and. Okay. I'm going to save this. Okay, let me come back to it. You see, I'm not a very superstar when it comes to multitasking, okay? Oh. Okay. I'm going to read, okay? So I will read this poem, and this is the latest poem, the Unreturned Smile, and it is giving me an error. Oh man, that's not good. Okay, I'm caring. Okay. No, I'm not going on to the full show right now. But if this is where I'm going to do it from, and I only thing I need to do is I have to make sure that there are no copyrighted materials played. That is like another video or audio I'm playing. If they are copyrighted, I have to make sure they are copyright free, and I may have to give them credits. Saying that okay, this is uncopyrighted material. There is no copyright associated to it. Even if I'm playing, but I have no interest in playing. It's just me, myself, and myself. So, this is a poem called The Unreturned Smile. This is having no context to return. at this point. The context were forbidden to write. So yesterday I left a video in lonelypoet.com, clearly mentioning what's the reason why I'm not actually putting any context for certain poems, as it is about a specific person who don't like to be named or who don't like to be talked about. So I'm going to leave it as that. What I am going to really do is, okay, I'm going to write poems like this. And I recently, no, not recently, I mean, I should say, earlier today, I had a very interesting find, which will be a poem that will be released tomorrow morning. Probably if I have time tomorrow morning. That's something which I need to see. If I have time, then I will actually read out the whole thing. It is a very, very, very interesting, find I had because of the just the coincidences between the cycle of events that happen. So that's going to come. This one is generally speaking, it is a poem about someone who is not loved, who is not liked. I should not use the word love very often. In that new one, not the new one, there's an old poem. It was from 2013. That poem, I'm using the context itself. I'm using the word love instead of like, which was the wrong thing to actually say at that point. Where I was there was no like exchanged. There was the world was not liking me in that particular way. So it is not love. So even though I call it. But right now I've grown a little more mature than 2013, and I right now know that I have to be very, very, very careful when I use specific words, like for. I use the word for instead of to. These things are common things which just comes out of my mouth and I just say it. In the same way, there are people who actually brought up some words that I corrected in the past when I was in lonelypoet.com, the original bulletin board, which many of you guys were saying we missed that bulletin board. It was really fun. We were having a lot of fun. There was no video, there was no audio. There were just to write things. You comment, you are creative in comments. I really enjoyed that. I mean, right now, even if I go back to it, people will still put YouTube videos, things like that, because I have seen Rachel's, site, and it's just become a mess there, and even this bulletin board, what happened? Now I'm doing live shows in there, as well as I'm doing a live thing on YouTube. So looks like this is where we are going to focus on. That focus will be totally doing shows, and make sure that video will be later added to the I think I may have to change the settings of lonelypoet.org a bit, so that I can actually have this one on top as a pinned post, and then I can actually have subsequent posts getting added there, which will be shared. All those arrangements I need to make. I don't know whether I will be having time from here through the weekend. I may come back later after this weekend is over. So that's pretty much where I'm going with when I'm coming to my own sites. You guys asked me certain questions. Okay, so before I jump into the poem, maybe I can answer some of these questions. What? Okay, is that Janine or Joe? Janine probably slept now. It's already 2 o'clock there. No response. Joe. Okay. What are the questions you were asking earlier? There are people actually listed a number of questions. Actually, I can do that. I can do lonelypoet.org as well as Facebook. Yes, I can. But it's immaterial. I'm expecting people to come from Facebook to lonelypoet.org, rather than me doing shows simultaneously, on LonelyPoet.org as well as in this place. What is the name of that? Facebook. It doesn't make any sense doing it twice. I may actually post that video later onto Facebook rather than do simultaneous live, because what my plan is to actually have audience in lonelypod.org itself, where I'm going to expand that site a little more so that people can come and watch my videos very well. And probably I will have separate area where I can post links about other sites, where people who are going to spill out of this other community, they are going to be having their own sites like this, because we have already listed how to actually do this in with YouTube, and until we find an answer, a complete answer for independent showing or independent shows, I don't have the time to actually sit and write programming code or work with people to actually generate this programming code and come back and give it to you. I don't have the time to do this. I clearly said, this is not like 2007 or 2008 when we came here. So I'm actually revealing a lot more information than I'm supposed to say. Okay, so but as of now, I don't have simultaneous shows planned. For when I'm in lonelypod.org, there is a good nice chance I'll be in iVlog, which I already listed there. iVlog, get an account there in iVlog. If you have issues with starting accounts at iVlog, please let me know. I know Esteban very well from even Blog TV times, Esteban Crime. So he is the owner of that site, and I know him very well. I can communicate with him and get those things handled and fixed properly. So don't worry about that. Okay. What is the current context crisis? I am not allowed to talk about it. Okay. Well, no, I'm not saying. I'm not really saying that there won't be any more context written for my sides. I'm not saying that. So please don't misunderstand me. There will be specific poems where the context belongs to a specific person. When that is the case, I will actually say forbidden to write. That means the context will not be written for that. I don't have any plan to even write it in the future. Well, when somebody is not comfortable in me talking about that person, so why would I insist that, oh yeah, I'm going to select you as my context and I'm going to write about that context? No, I'm going to write about the dream. I am the translator of dreams to poetry. I take the context and make a dream out of it, or maybe make multiple dreams out of it, and then translate that into poetry. That's what I do. I'm not writing the actual context directly to poetry. So even if the context actually is me and say for example, I can give you a brief example. Me and a person, a girl is meeting in a coffee shop. We are actually having a romantic chat. How to actually deal with certain life scenarios. When you are in a romantic situation, yeah, there will be multiple life scenarios talked about. I'm going to take that one life scenario and I'm going to say this is my context. Okay. And this is a context I am actually that triggered this dream. That means it's an extension of that context into, what are the possible scenarios that can come out of that. That is written out. I think you have already seen. I'm actually repeating what I said like a broken record right now. The upteenth time. So that context will be that is called the dream. Then translate that into poetry. That actually I will write into a poem. So when you look at it, the original context and the poem may not have immediate connection. There is a missing part in between. That is where the poetry is. If I'm going to talk about it, that's explaining the poem. There is no point explaining the poem. What is the context in which this is written? So that if you can connect that, then bridge it very well. That bridging part is your mind. So that bridge is your mind and your soul, whatever it is. That's where you are going to enjoy the actual work. Otherwise, it will be like reading a novel or reading a short story. Yeah, I can write that too. Yeah. I just said, the bridging part should be done by the reader. If I'm going to actually view all those things, then it will become prose. Because the beauty of the poetry is you actually put things in way. You show an image, you generate an image in the mind of the person, and that image is what that person is going to feel. When I say feel, it's just not seeing the image in your mind, it is actually hearing things, it's actually smelling things, it's actually touching things. You will get that feel. How successful I am in actually generating that feel, that depends on my talent as a poet. Whether I'll be able to go up to about 60%, yeah, about that is where I am. I think that was what everybody analyzed. I'm not William Shakespeare to actually have about 75-80% of the image properly coming there. I'm not. I'm not the mastery. I don't have the mastery of that language. Okay, like Wordsworth, up to 90% of his, the images, you will clearly understand what is in between the actual context, and you can just read the poem and then go back. This is the dream and this is the context. You can actually go back to it. I'm not that good. Okay, if I were good, I would have been somewhere else. Sub questions of that. Okay, let's leave that. Whew. Who is asking that question? Okay. Briefly, I don't want to waste too much of time in this. We are already into about 23, 24 minutes right now in our show. So let me briefly tell you. See, when a poet or a musician or a comedian, whoever it is coming and doing a show, the material he is showing is actually the actual show. His own personal life is not. Okay? I am taking something from my personal life and fantasizing that particular real life scenario into poetry. That doesn't necessarily mean I should be revealing the personal matter or the personal life onto the public. Absolutely. Okay. I may say, I used to say, in the context part, what actually happened. Even the dialogues, I try to remember what would we actually speak. So even that I used to write. But the problem is, somebody objected to that and saying that, okay, yeah, you are writing a lot about that, it's everything becoming, you're spilling your guts out there, which I don't want to. Even though there are no specific words exchanged that say you don't do it, or you should never do it, or something like that. It never was there. But still, the understanding I got was, okay, yeah, I should not be writing that. So this question where you are asking, okay, do I currently have a girlfriend, and that's irrelevant. That question is currently irrelevant. Okay, when you actually say a girlfriend, there are a lot of girls I know who are friends. I know where you are going with it. You are all thinking the person who said, on my Facebook, who want to go out for a baseball game with me. That's not even a girlfriend. She is having another boyfriend. Okay? She's my recruiter. She's a very, very friendly girl. I know her for about 4 or 5 years. That's who you are talking about. I know that's what everybody is thinking. She's a very good looking lady, and she when she said we should go on a when she said we should go for a baseball game together, that means, okay, that's not her. Her boyfriend definitely will be there with her. That I know very well, and I know girls like that. Multiple of them. I know at least 4 of them here in Milwaukee itself. Then I know somebody in Chicago. There are people like that, where I know I'm very friendly to them and they are very friendly to me. They have no problem accommodating me into their life. They are not threatened by me. They are not excessively obsessed with me. They are not checking my checking my background at all the time, thinking that I'm going to come and drink their blood. That's not the case. So it's life. Actually takes you different up and down in different ways. Right now I'm working with the recruiter to land in a permanent job. Things didn't really happen. So then one of my favorite recruiters actually went from one place to another place, one company to another company. So that is one of my major setback I had, because then that person is no longer a recruiter. So that was a setback. Then this one came. So it's all going through that. So only that much I can say when it comes to the details of my personal life. Beyond that certain point, when somebody says, "Don't speak about me," why do you want me to speak about that? Okay, so I don't want to do that. Joe, we are at 26. Okay, I don't want a long ass video, of like 1 hour. Okay, maybe we should go for the. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the poem. Here we go. The unreturned smile. The summer winds sweat under the merciless sun, and the birds sat under the leaves with dried out mouths. People undressed uncaringly as blood boiled in veins. Nothing bothered a lost heart as he walked in the crowd. Images of the past again and again played through his mind, where every image completed with her smiling face and her caring gestures. But oh, his likes and feelings took an orphaned walk. Silence calibrated his mind to celebrate when speechless before reality he sat. A reality that blurred every imagined image when romance swept away into the unknowns. Though filled with dry heat, the wind spread her wings, and all around him, like a naughty child, she flew, wiped from his cheeks some of the falling sweat, knowing more than sweat fell from his face. Then to his soul, in whispering voice, she asked, "Oh dear, my dearest, what happened to your pretty smile?" He walked without a thought, and his soul replied, "I gave it to a girl who never returned it." The wind wept along, and the world rejoiced in the falling rain. Here we are. Not a very complicated poem. It was just explaining things in the context. So you can backtrace into that context if you can. But I'm not going to reveal that. Okay, that's up to you. Okay, so that's about it. I'm going to wrap this. I need to go, and it's 1:24 in the morning, and I don't know what my morning is going to be. I need to look at my many things in my phone to really figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, if say nothing is there, I'm going to be free. I'll be coming back, and probably we'll do the live writing. You see, that was good. In the morning when I actually showed the different boxes, some people really said, "Okay, yeah, let's need to go. Let's do this." Oh yeah, that's one. I really love doing that. Doing writing. I may not actually do the live writing instead write and go. I will write a particular area and put that in there, and then come back to it, and then come and do the live part, and then I will keep on writing it. Maybe that's where I need the music. But as we are on YouTube, I don't want to get banned by YouTube. I have more than 200, 300 videos sitting there. See, I don't want to get suspended out. That can happen. So that's a poem. Okay, you guys have a fantastic evening, and most of the people who are on vacation all through the weekend, enjoy the weekend. Probably we will see it, and I'm really I'm going to miss this group of people as is. I know when a site falls apart, people just scatter all. I have seen that happening in Block TV, where people just couldn't do anything. They just went to one side or multiple side, and they are not comfortable with this side. They are not comfortable with this setting of the other side. It happened. iVlog. It took a while for them to get established, and then Twitch or something like that, the gaming side. Those guys are still inviting me to go and do shows there, but I don't know whether that is a very nice place for me to really should go and do a live show because they are gamers. This is like going and doing a live poetry show in a porn site. Even if there is a very decent category there, dating category or making friends category there. Even if we are going to do a show there, there are most of the people who are super horny, and it's the same thing. These guys are gamers. They are I'm so aggravated. And they're suddenly in between coming. Okay, though filled with dry heat and wind spread her wings all around him like a naughty little child, she flew. If they hear that, what the hell is this, man? Then the next thing is, okay, that guy who had never done any trolling in his life, he will turn and become a completely evolve into a troll and come into my side and start trolling, then I'll troll back, then I'll bring 100 different trolls into his side. Why? Why all this confusion? The old block TV confusion. That's why I didn't really go there. There are a couple of friends who are hardcore gamers. Actually invited me saying that, okay, you don't have to play any games. I said, buddy, I am, at that time, I was like 48 years old. I was like 47 years old. I said, I'm 47. I should not be playing games with, people half my age. But, there are like people who are in their 40s who are playing games here. I know, Roger is one of the guys there. He's older than me. He's like 4 years older than me. But he's still playing games there, And I was like, Roger, I want your life, he invested his money and all those things in really good real estates and all. He makes like 7-8 grand a month. After all the expenses, he get 7-8 grand in his hand. What to do? I mean, he just sit at home and play, and he's like, okay, what do you want, man? Yeah, that probably is the best thing for me to do from here on. Instead of, yeah, I'm not working at all. Okay. Yeah, I have no problem saying how my life goes, but there are people who object to it because there are things that get connected to it, and when they actually objects, I may have to listen to them now. It's not just a lonely poet anymore. Okay, this, what you read on my hat, it got some connectance, that's need to happen. And from here on, I think there is going to be, I did one 180-degree turn into a different lifestyle from, when it comes to work, after I got the green card. Now I need to take maybe a 90-degree turn to actually see what is the next step I need to take. So that's where I am. It is a critical juncture of my life. So everybody should understand that. And that's where I'm going to actually settle down. So please keep in touch. LonelyPoet.org may be a good place for you to, for the time being, see me. I cannot allow too many shows to come there. Let me see if I can find a way, a good nice template where I can have multiple of these this YouTube thing. If I can embed it there and put that kind of things there so that people can come and chat and all things. So that I will figure out how to actually put the chat. Yeah, I will figure this out and somehow work through. Is it gone now? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, once we have that, something like that, then don't play music. That's the thing, in YouTube, when you're doing a show, don't play music, don't play any other videos and things like that, which you guys do. Even other YouTube videos, don't play it. Just do your thing and get out of there. See, talk like what I'm doing right now. Talk the hell out of yourself. Then go from there. Eventually we will be able to figure out how do we do a direct thing. I don't have the money, or I don't have the technology right now. I can buy the technology, but the thing is, it's expensive and it's just not financially viable. We looked at all the different models that were brought into us. It just doesn't make any sense to start a site and get absorbed by other. Ustream couldn't survive. So imagine that. Ustream got sold to IBM and they are actually making their business name. So you can understand such powerful, high-level people who are doing things, they couldn't break even. It's an expensive scenario. This is not cheap. So I looked at it in 2000, 12, 2013 time when Block TV was going down. I wanted to make LonelyPoet.org as and do another in this thing. Even if I have the script, the expenses, bandwidth expenses that are coming out of this, including my power, consumption, just not adding. Yeah, I talked about it. I will again talk about it, multiple times. I think I'm I think there is some tea in it. I thought I heard some noise. See, those tea taste really good. Okay. Richie can come. Richie, what? Richie can come here. Yeah, he can come here anytime. I'm not going to block anyone. If they are actually acting bad in my website, all the people I'm blocked here, I'm not going to actually block them anywhere in my site. As long as they are actually acting decent, I will actually take them. But there is no account. You cannot sign up. See, the chat is, I'm going to move the chat. The chat will be in YouTube. Your account will be in YouTube. You make a mess around there, I will actually call the administrators of YouTube and say, okay, yeah, here is a guy trolling into my show, so they will be taking actions. I'm not going to take any action. You understand what I mean? Yeah. Okay. You guys have a fantastic evening and morning. Nobody from Europe is here because of the block and all those things. Okay, whatever. It's all contagious right now. It's all really bad. Bad things are happening out in the world, and I'm not going to bother about the bad things because, you see, I don't have time to actually deal with good, bad, and differentiating. Whatever I'm doing is good for me. That's where I'm going to move. Okay. Yeah, I'll be doing a couple of more shows before we wrap by, I think Monday evening. You guys are completely pulling the plugs. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll do a couple more shows. It depends on the time. Like I said, it depends on the time. Good night. Good luck. Bye-bye.